the Street 919 FM, and also our YouTube channel. I am your host, Wendy H. Lewis, and happy Wednesday to each and every one. I know for some, they may still be in shock. Some are still picking their jaws up from the ground after yesterday's announcement that we do have a general election coming up on the 28th of April. Interesting times ahead in our beautiful Twin Island Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. But as promised, we are here on A Woman's Worth, commemorating International Women's Month. This is a month where I am celebrating women from different walks of life, women who have broken glass ceilings, women who have refused to argue or ask for a seat at a table, but just walk with their own table or bring their own chair because they understand their worth, they understand the power on the inside of them, and they recognize that each and every one of us have purpose on the inside of us, and we have a gift. We're all gifted in so many ways. Some of us identify with those gifts. Some of us have someone close in our lives, and we have the benefit of social media that can highlight these gifts. And your gifts make room for you. Every single one of us have a gift, and that is something that makes room for us. I would have said it before, even as a child in school, every single school report, Wendy's a brilliant student. Yeah, that was bright, but too talkative. If Wendy will talk less. And then here I am doing exactly that for a living on radio, television, corporate training, and also as a keynote speaker. We would have had the pleasure, and I want to say thank you to all the guests who have graced the program for the week. Monday, we would have had Dr. Gabriel Hussain. Yesterday, we would have had Miss Tracy Farag. And coming up shortly, we have the newly elected president of the Public Service Association, PSA, Miss Felicia Thomas. So get ready with your pen and paper, because, some of these interviews, you have to take copious notes, live and direct. And we also have the telephone numbers where you will be able to call in 342-0081 and 466-5391. Those numbers again are 342-0081, 466-5391. Allow me to say good morning to the Board of Directors at Caribbean Women Honors and Empowerment, of which I lead. Pleasant good morning to all my directors, to all the members of PLOT, Powerful Ladies of Trinidad and Tobago, and you amazing women, wherever you are tuned in and locked on, good morning to you, and to all the men that support their women and understand that, in the beginning, he said it was not good for man to be alone, so I send thee a helper. So to all the men that recognize that we are needed, not just to help, but to be supported and to be nurtured and to be honored and respected, we salute you. So we salute the men. And I want to say this, I do not have a feminist movement. I have an avenue for women to be empowered, educated, and edified. I just want to answer some of the questions that have been popping up on the lives over the past few days. Yes, Caribbean Women Honors and Empowerment. The number is 269-3567 for those who are interested in being a part of an NGO that doesn't talk the talk but walks the walk. That's what we've been doing for the past 6 years, assisting women who are broken, battered and bruised, gender-based violence, the rights of children, and we even have a safe space for men called Men We Are Here For You. Recently, when I was on A Woman's Worth prior to, someone called in and said to me, what about the men? And I thought, you know what? Really, what about the men? Let's help the men. So quarterly, we also have a program for men. Men We Are Here For You, where we deal with all their issues, because over the years, we recognize that they have been groomed. Groomed is the word I want to use, to suppress their emotions. You get called some names if you decide to shed a tear or two. But we are here to have open, honest, frank conversation as we continue to edify, we continue to empower, we continue to educate. I am getting ready for my guest, Miss Felicia Thomas, who is the newly appointed president at the Public Services Association of Trinidad and Tobago. So let me share with you a little bit about Miss Felicia Thomas, who I was privileged to have her as a student under my tutelage as well. Felicia Thomas is a dedicated trade unionist, known for her strong personality and desire to ensure that all workers are treated fairly and equally through the promotion of fair labor practices. Growing up in a working class family, Felicia witnessed the struggles faced by working class people in her community. Upon entering the work environment, she saw and experienced firsthand the injustices meted out to workers and their fear to speak out about these said issues. Motivated by a desire to create positive change, Felicia became actively involved in union activities in her late 20s. She rose through the ranks of the union, commencing her career as a trade unionist, as a shop steward among her peers, followed by her movement as a full-time office within a local branch. Through the demonstration of strong leadership skills and a passion for justice, Felicia was then appointed to the position of Deputy General Secretary at the Public Services Association of Trinidad and Tobago on the 28th of September 2018, followed by an acting position that then led to the position of First Vice President for the period 2020 to 2025 and now elected President. Felicia became known for her patient demeanor around the table and her ability to negotiate effectively with employers while always prioritizing the needs of workers. Throughout her career, she has fought tirelessly for better wages, safer working conditions, and improved benefits for many categories of workers, earning her reputation as a formidable advocate for justice. Felicia believes strongly in the power of collective action and continues to inspire others to join the fight for a more just and equitable society. It is her hope that her dedication to the labor movement and her unwavering commitment to justice serves as an inspiration to all who strive for a fairer, more equitable Trinidad and Tobago. Ladies and gentlemen, it takes grit, it takes patience, it takes commitment, and a strong, solid prayer life to be an advocate on that level for any sphere in society. You have to remain steadfast, you have to become resilient, you have to understand what you're becoming a part of, and communication is such an important key. I was having a conversation with someone this morning about something that didn't quite go right, and I was sharing with her the reason why I decided to say that wasn't quite right as opposed to it was wrong. Words have power, and communication keys are something you need when you're advocating, when you're educating, when you're empowering, and when you're edifying and lifting others up. And we're getting ready to speak with Miss Felicia Thomas. In the meantime, in between time, just remember that this is an International Women's Month series, which ends on the 31st of March, and then I shift gears on a woman's worth in a different direction. But for now, we are here every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon, and on Tuesdays, 11 to 12. And you are free to join us on any of our social media platforms. As it stands, let me just say good morning to some of the folks who are here on the live already. Pleasant good morning to Deborah and all the workers out there at AS Bryden. Good morning to those who are tuned in from First Citizens. Pleasant good morning to my mom, my entire family, all the people. Thank you for your support. You know, gratitude is a key. And I really want to say thank you to those who have supported A Woman's Worth over the years, because it has been a journey and a half. But I remain committed. I remain steadfast. I remain focused. And whilst we get ready to welcome to the microphone Miss Felicia Thomas, I'm just going to take a quick break. Have you listened to an amazing song that literally suits the conversation we are about to have here on Street 91.9 FM whilst we get our pens and pencils, because this conversation going to be different. This is going to be different. This one is going to be different. So keep it locked. We'll be right back.
Hotter than a fantasy.
Trinidad and Tobago, we are back. You would have heard a detailed, powerful resume for an amazing, amazing human being, Miss Felicia Thomas, who is the newly elected president. Second president, first being Jennifer Badice Primus. Good morning, Jen. But we have in studio with me, live and direct, the ever flourishing, if you all see her, ever flourishing Miss Felicia Thomas. Welcome and congratulations, not only on your win as the first female president, but as a newly appointed mother. If you see how she glowing earlier, yeah, she just gave birth a few months ago. So motherhood is looking good on you.
Thank
Welcome
you.
to the Street 91.9 FM. How
Thank you
have
so
you
much.
been?
I have been great. Stepping into this role as president, campaigning while pregnant. Um, I,
Wow.
I gave birth in December. Um, so it was straight in the middle of the campaign, straight from giving birth back into the campaign, into the election. Um, it was a challenging time having
Yes.
to, that separation from my newborn daughter, but it it's worth it. The fight that we are fighting is worth it. It's about a future for her
Exactly.
and securing her future. So it was worth it. Notwithstanding a challenge, it was worth it.
But we built for this.
It, it
Us women, we built for
and
this.
maybe that is why I had to experience pregnancy in this period.
Ah, valid point.
It was preparing me for the role that I was about to assume, that I have now assumed.
Yes. Tell me a bit about your journey that led to you even becoming the second female president for the PSA.
Well, it wasn't something that was planned. It wasn't something that I would have said all my life, I want to be president of the PSA.
Right.
Representing people wasn't something that I said I wanted to do all my life. What I wanted to do all of my life is make change. That's the one thing I was sure about.
Yes.
And how I make that change is probably how I stepped into the role of trade unionism. I am originally from WASA, Water and Sewage Authority, and within my space, my department, I became a rep.
Okay.
And from a rep in my department, I started working with this section as a full-time officer. In 2017, I was offered two positions on the executive that was with Mr. Duke, Industrial Relations Officer and Trustee.
Good morning, Mr. Duke.
And I chose the position of trustee because I felt at that point in time I
Right.
was not ready for the Industrial Relations Officer post.
Ah, okay.
And so I chose the position of trustee. That election didn't happen. We always have some court matter in the PSA. That election was stopped.
Okay.
And from there, I was then later on, after the resignation of the then General Secretary, I was offered the position of Deputy General Secretary. And that was something I felt I could
You could
have
handle.
handled a
Yes.
secretarial position. So my stint in the PSA started in 2018, August 2018.
Okay.
As Deputy General Secretary, I was appointed on the 28th of September 2018 in that position. In 2020, I was acting General Secretary for a short period of time
Right.
into elections where I was elected as the first Vice President of the PSA. I held that
I
position for
remember
4
that.
years.
Yes.
And then now elected President of the PSA 2025.
Wow. You know what is interesting to note with something you just said? You had two positions before you,
Yes,
and you knew within yourself that you weren't ready for that one.
yes.
So in humility, you took the other one until you knew that you were ready. And a lot of women, you see, I like depth.
Yeah.
And a lot of women, not everything you're offered means you need to take it to prove a point.
Correct.
Search within yourself and ensure that you are ready and fit for the fight.
Yeah.
Because life is about season and changes.
When you're serving people, you want to serve or you want to do your best.
Correct.
And,
Hopefully. Yes.
And so when you assess what is before you, you must know whether or not you are ready for the task or not. And for me, I was not ready to properly serve the people, the membership,
Right.
in that position of Industrial Relations Officer.
Historically, the PSA has been a significant advocate for workers' rights.
Yes.
How do you plan to bring a fresh perspective as a female leader?
For me, it's about your style of leadership.
Definitely.
I have seen over the years the membership dwindle because of
Okay.
a lot of internal conflicts.
Right.
You have persons that I would call them political activists
Ah,
within the
okay.
PSA, championing the position of the employer,
Okay.
um, and wanting to lead the PSA, but really playing the role of politicians within the PSA. For me, my leadership is very straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
People must know the truth, and that
Agreed.
is what I intend to bring to the people. People
Mm-hmm.
must know what is before them,
Mm-hmm.
and they too have a role in the not the decision making, but
Mm-hmm.
really the direction that the union goes.
Definitely.
The union is only as strong as its membership,
Membership, yes.
and the leadership of the union requires the support of the membership to champion anything that we want to do
Mm-hmm.
on behalf of them. What
Right.
we are able to accomplish,
Mm-hmm.
we are able to accomplish it when we have that support of the membership behind us.
Wow.
So my leadership style is one that is very straightforward. I will be straightforward, very honest with the membership, and it is up to the membership to support or not support the position of the executive.
What do you see as your biggest challenge?
Politics.
What about the politics?
Within the membership, you have persons that, and naturally so, you have persons that are loyal to party.
Mm-hmm.
And we are
We're not
trying to
dying. Mm-hmm.
we are trying to get people to understand that you have to be able to separate politics from life decisions.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to supporting the union, it is it's about supporting yourself.
Agreed.
When we protest for more on behalf of workers, it's not because we being greedy. The union is advancing more on behalf of workers. One, because they deserve it,
Mm-hmm.
and two, when you think about the impact on the country when people are in a position that they can spend, it
Yes.
fuels the economy, and it is in the interest of
The
the
people.
member, the
And they
people, the
empower them.
country.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And they're
So
not depressed and stressed.
correct, and that too plays a role. When you hear persons talk about the public officers and talk about them in a negative way, you have to think about motivation. Are they
Definitely.
motivated?
Yeah.
When you are sitting in the workplace and you can't cover your bills, you're not sure how you're coming to work tomorrow, you're not sure how you're going to put food on the table for your
Mm-hmm.
family, how are you even motivated to work? You are there because you have to,
Yeah.
but your body is there, but your mind is somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the reality of many public officers. Sometimes we have persons calling us and saying they don't know how they're going to go to work for the month because their salary isn't enough. So they're either looking for a drop for with somebody to be
Right.
able
To
to
save
get
on
to
the
work
transport.
to save on the
Mm-hmm.
transport, or they're looking for money to borrow. That should not be the reality of public officers. You are serving the state, and the
Mm-hmm.
state has a responsibility to take care of their workers just as they take care of themselves.
And how has that been based on your experience over the years? Because you made a powerful statement when you became the second female president about a shift
Mm-hmm.
politically.
Yes,
You got some flack for it. You got some support for it.
yes.
And we expect that because we live in a society, it's a democratic society, and you get to choose. Some people would have said that you shouldn't have made this statement based on all the membership because some of the membership are on this side, some of the membership are on that side. What fueled the statement?
Let me start with the whole TTRA issue.
Okay, yes.
You have workers within the Board of Inland Revenue, Customs and Excise Division.
Mm-hmm.
They are now forming this Trinidad and Tobago Revenue Authority. But these workers don't know what the future holds for them.
Right.
The way that they are being treated is almost as though nobody cares other than the union.
Okay.
Those in power do not care whether they continue to be employed, whether they have good salaries. The questions that are being asked by the workers and the union, no responses are forthcoming. So it's almost as though, wherever I say, go with that. Don't question me, don't challenge me. This is what we are doing, just do it.
Right.
And workers must just trump and follow suit because you say. But these are decisions that impact their lives, their ability to take care of themselves and their families.
Correct.
And therefore, they want the answers to the questions. When you say transfer into the wider public service as being one of the options for these workers, is there sufficient space in the public service? Can a customs officer transfer into the wider public service when there is no customs officer position available anywhere else in the wider public service? When you say transfer to the revenue authority, what is the salary? What are my terms and conditions? How much vacation leave am I entitled to? Does my union representation continue over in the Trinidad and Tobago Revenue Authority? Those questions are not answered.
Okay.
Not because they don't have the answer, because they have refused to answer the question. So when my membership is faced with something like that, I have to make a decision whether or not you're the right person to treat with issues on behalf of my membership, because clearly you are not interested in treating with workers' issues. Then we have the whole issue of the 4%.
Right. Let's talk 4%.
That being a huge issue that impacts all workers' lives. Now, when you have a clerk in the public service whose salary is $5,049, 4% increase translates to an increase in salary of $204 over a period of 6 years.
Wait, say that again?
$204 TT dollars over a period of 6 years. So the public officer would have given service to this country for 6 years to only earn $204. Nowhere close to what inflation was over the period. You had gas going up by 161% increase in gasoline. You had a 64% in food inflation. That is what the workers face over the period, but yet you offer a 4% increase that cannot match the inflationary rates. When you have a permanent secretary taking the stand in the industrial court and saying to the judge that there is no justification for the arrival of the 4%, then we have to take a look at why 4% then. Is it because you are in control? And because you are in control, you could do as you please? When you say that you raise gas prices, you raise it once, you raise it twice, you raise it 3 times, and nobody in riot yet. And you will raise it again and see what we do. And then you raise it by 20%. It says to me that you don't care about people. And if you don't care about people, well, then you should not be holding office. And my sole reason for making that statement is because of what my membership is facing.
Right.
You have, so TTRA workers, their jobs are on the line. Let me don't say TTRA, because I rebuke TTRA. Board of Inland Revenue, Customs and Excise Division workers, their jobs are on the line.
Right.
You have WASA workers' jobs are on the line.
Wow.
You have throughout the public service, you have HDC workers, they are going through, I would say, a restructuring within HDC. No information forthcoming. Again, another issue where they are not treating with workers and the issues that are before them. And it's not because the union has not been extending our hand, trying to meet, trying to be diplomatic, because, you know, they like to say we always protesting. The Prime Minister say protest, 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 protest. You want your money, you want your money. And then when you get your money, you're out of a job. That was a threat to workers.
Wow.
Again, when workers protest, they run quick in the middle of the night and get an injunction to stop you from protesting. And it's not as though they treat them with the workers' issues. So reality is, if you fail to treat with workers' issues, then why should workers support you? What is there for the worker to support?
When was the last time you all got an increase?
The last increase was, I think, in 2010, but just to confirm, that was under the
You
previous
could say it.
administration,
Yeah.
under the UNC. The last
Hence,
increase to public officers, and let me remind the population,
mm-hmm.
let me remind the membership how much licks we get when the PNM came into office, when they had to pay that 14%. They acted as though the economy was going to crash. And even of recent, I heard the statement again about they had to borrow money to pay that last back pay. This country borrowing money year after year after year to do hundreds of things, all kind of projects. What about the workers? You're borrowing money for everything else. Why make the population feel that the only purpose you borrowed money for back then was to pay workers? You borrowed money to do everything else in this country. Reality is, in this country, they spend about $58 billion a year on average.
Yeah.
How much of it is spent on workers? It has nothing to do with whether or not this country has money. It has to do with them not wanting to spend money on workers. And I'll give the example of NIB. We signed an agreement with NIB. And again, another reason why I had to make my statement. There's no meeting and treating in good faith.
Wow.
There's an agreement signed between the PSA and NIB for 9% for NIB workers for the period 2014 to 2016. That was signed in 2020. The workers were supposed to get their back pay in 2020. We are now in 2025 and still fighting that matter in the court because the state refused to pay NIB what is theirs, what is rightfully theirs. So can I say to the NIB worker, vote PNM? Because here what I'm sure of, the NIB worker will not get their 9% with the PNM in office. Can I say to the workers of the Board of Inland Revenue, Custom and Excise Division to vote for the PNM? The answer is no. If they remain in office, those persons will be in the same predicament, either out of a job or transferring to an authority without knowing what you're getting when you go over there. And let me tell you what they do, and this is to answer some of the questions from those workers. When you think that they're offering you something now, and you go over into the Trinidad and Tobago Revenue Authority and you think you have a nice pay, you know what it is do? Because this is not the first authority that has been formed.
Right.
What they do is they issue a new contract after the first one with less terms and conditions.
So you're giving me the one and
So they don't want, the reason why they don't want to answer the questions because they don't want to give any commitment. They don't want you to have anything that you could run to the court to and hold them to.
accountable.
Accountability. So can I tell my membership in BIR and Customs to vote PNM? The answer is no. Can I tell a WASA worker to vote PNM? The answer is no. From day one, they have made the population feel as though the workers in WASA are the issue. The reality is that is not so. And the facts are the facts. I'm dealing with nothing else but the facts. Here what the facts are. The facts are between the period when UNC was in office, WASA was deemed the most improved utility. Most improved. What happened when the PNM came into office? That was not their plan for WASA. So they removed everything that was put in place to allow WASA to properly serve the population in the interim while so you had short-term measures implemented so that the population can be served while you treat with implementing the long-term. They removed all of that. And of course, the population would have seen a drop in service. And when the population saw that drop in service, what happened? The the PNM then came out and started to bash Wassa. But reality is, you know what? Wassa produces sufficient water for the entire country. What we have not seen is investment from the government into Wassa to treat with the issues. There's a lot of leaking pipelines that
The
need
water
to,
is there.
the water is there.
Wow.
And we saw the then Minister of Public Utilities running all over the place digging well, but you're digging well to pump water into the same pipeline that leaking.
Wow. Felicia, we're going to take a break. We will be right back. Keep it locked, Trinidad and Tobago. The conversation hot.
Lazy body. We love the people of terror. We can't do the lazy body people them. Watch out. Every passing must work. I don't like that. Work. Every passing must work. Young or old. Work harder. Every passing must work. Work. White or black. Every passing must work. Work hard. Watch this.
It's your turn to laugh like never before. Alternative International Comedy Festival featuring comedy star Damian Melville in concert with added drama, including Damian Melville as Dr. Rowley.
Listen to that. There's never a day you could wake up and you hear, what a lovely day. What beautiful sunshine. Let me go on the beach. Let me go and check my neighbor I haven't seen for a while. All you just get from them is yang, 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 yang. That is all.
Coming to Winifred Atwell Auditorium, Queens Hall, Saturday, March 22nd, and Mahaika Oval Sporting Complex, Point Fortin, Saturday, March 29th. Both shows, 7 p.m. Get tickets today and save a fantastic $50 while stock lasts at islandetickets.com. Cache, Sport of Spain, Gulf City Mall, Trin City Mall, Michelle's Arima, Passad the Food King, and Food Fantasy, Point Fortin, Valini's, San Fernando, Crosby, St. James, Extra Food Supermarkets, nationwide. For more info, call Alternative Festival Hotline at 774-5555.
Hear me roar, in numbers too big to ignore. And I know too much to go back every day. 'Cause I've heard it all before, and I've been down there on the floor. No one's ever gonna keep me down again. Oh, yes, I am wise, but it is wisdom born of pain. Yes, I paid the price, but look how much I gained. If I have to, I can do anything. I am strong, I am invincible, I am woman. Well, feet that fit so comfortably on your shoulders are the same ones that's gonna stand my ground, yeah. With all the muscle that you're building, you must be strong enough to lift the standard, make me wanna hang around, yeah. Baby, tell me what this is, beyond dogs and kisses, why you gotta turn my smile upside down, yeah. You used to say your was a blessing, now you say I'm PMS, and so I guess there ain't no point hanging around, yeah. Well, I don't wanna be no guy, just wanna be appreciated by the eye. Don't believe the package influence the contents. Tongue, I mean a lack of common sense. Who am I say? I don't wanna be no guy, just wanna be respected by the eye. Don't let the style overshadow the credential. Me dress code not diminish me potential. Who am I say? Yo, check it. She's just a girl and she
This is a Woman's Worth here on Street 91.9 FM, and we are commemorating International Women's Month, where we feature trailblazers. And with me, I have a trailblazer. Felicia, just before the break, we were talking negotiation and wages, and take it away.
I want to touch on something, because I was saying to you before we took the break that when I look at what we are faced with as the union and having to treat with the government as the employer, can I look at what we have faced and reasonably say to my membership, vote? And the question persons ask is, why is the union becoming political? The answer to that is the union is not becoming political. The reality is we deal with politicians on behalf of our members. They are the employer of our members.
Right.
So we have no choice but to speak on the politics. But to say that the union is becoming political, the answer to that is no. If we are faced with a situation where the employer, and it could be any employer, if you
Right.
are faced with a situation where the employer is not treating with the workers' issues, do we support that employer? The answer to that is no.
Agreed. I mean, when you, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not a union representative, but when you represent, you advocate.
Absolutely.
And when you advocate, you have to advocate for the best interests of those who are depending on you.
Correct.
Because those are the ones that have a tiny voice, a smaller voice, and in some cases, no voice at all.
Yes.
Sometimes you have things that you want to say on the inside, and you need a Felicia or you need a Wendy to speak on your behalf, to fight for you because somebody fought for us.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, I think it's about a shift in a mindset as well. I heard all those comments. I've seen so much on social media. I'm not deterred by what I see, but I'm very logical in my thinking. And if you're representing the workers as the head of a union, you've been voted. This is not where you had a group of people and somebody nominate. No, it is one man, one vote, correct?
Correct.
One man, one vote. So the membership trusts your leadership
Yes.
to represent them and seek avenues in their best interests.
Correct.
And so I'm just repeating this in a different way so that those who may think that they don't agree with Ms. Summers, you're getting a different twist but with the same message. If you're representing them, and the last time Harry was in power, Harry gave them food. And when Jonathan, I'll choose my names correctly, came into power, the food disappeared. Wisdom that build a house says if you want food again, you'll go by who provided you with food before. To me, it's a simple maths, you know.
I want to correct one thing.
Go ahead.
The food didn't disappear. The food is in plain sight. Jonathan just eating the food and saying to you, you ain't getting none.
Right. So I just wanted to break it down into a little more layman terms so that people could understand that the fight is not a political fight.
Correct.
It is a fight for the people to get what they rightfully deserve.
It's a bread and butter fight.
It's a bread and butter fight.
And you said something. You said that we had people to fight for us.
Yeah. We did.
And that
you
is
know.
one thing I remind the membership. What we enjoy today
Somebody.
wasn't just given to us.
Yeah.
Our parents and our grandparents fought for that. When you think about the 8-hour work day, that wasn't always so. When you think about vacation leave, you wasn't always entitled to vacation
True.
leave. Maternity leave, you wasn't always entitled to maternity leave.
Yeah.
All of the benefits we enjoy today, our parents and grandparents
Somebody.
fought for that.
Correct.
And we have a responsibility now as workers to ensure that we protect what we enjoy today and fight for even greater benefits. Not to sit back and allow, because it's my party, allow what we enjoy today to be taken away from us. And we are seeing it in our faces, permanent jobs. You are seeing contract jobs throughout. every organization. They no longer want to offer permanent jobs.
Why is that?
Permanent jobs is becoming a thing of the past. That is because contract jobs allow for control. When permanent workers are sure-footed, you know. When you come to a permanent worker,
Go ahead.
look at the Auditor General. Perfect example. You have somebody who has a permanent job and understand what their job is.
Okay.
And she would have performed that job. But here you have somebody disagreeing with the position taken or the outcome of her audit and want to investigate, discipline her. Was she a contract worker? What do you think would have happened? If she was a
Contract would have been
contract
terminated.
worker, correct. If she stood her ground as a contract worker, her contract would have been terminated. They use contract work to exploit people in this country, to turn
Wow.
workers into slaves in this country. Because what they do is they threaten your job when you challenge them. So permanent work is becoming a thing of the past.
Wow.
These are things that we have to fight to protect. You have throughout the civil service hundreds and hundreds of vacancies, positions not being filled. And then you have the population blaming the worker because it's taken too long for them to get something. It's taken too long to get something because they are understaffed. In many instances, the public officer does not have the resources to carry out their jobs. You have persons, and I can tell you this is a fact. You have workers taking money out of their pocket to be able to properly carry out their jobs because they love their jobs.
Wow.
So it is not the worker to blame. It is the state.
Okay.
It is the state. We have to fight to protect what we have.
Somebody's asking a question on the live here. What is the guarantee that you will be treated the way you felt you were treated in 2010?
What I have before me is what has been done. I could only speak to what I've seen.
Fair enough.
I have seen under the UNC government persons made permanent. I just spoke about contract jobs. Persons being made permanent, positions being filled left, right, and center. Under the UNC government, 2 negotiations were settled, if people don't recall that, within that one term. 2 negotiations were settled on behalf of the public service.
Right.
But overall, you had over 100 negotiations being settled
Wow.
under the UNC government in that
That's a
one
lot.
term in office.
Okay.
In that one term in office. The way they treated with workers, I could speak to that. But I could also speak to how this government has treated workers. And
Understood.
it has not been good. All we have seen from this government is attack on workers, left, right, and center.
How do you intend to treat with the members who are not seeing your vision? You know, they're paying them till they're dead. And they're seeing it differently. And how do you intend to treat with them without upsetting the whole apple cart, for want of a better phrase?
Listen, the reality is everybody would not be on board with you. But my hope is that when we are able to deliver,
Right.
that they do see the light. Because that's what we intend to do. We intend to deliver. And we have said to the UNC, because we have not been talking to the membership or saying this to the membership without having had conversations.
Yeah.
We have said to the UNC that we intend to hold them accountable for what they have
So you've had
promised the
talks with them
workers.
already?
Of course, yes, we have. And we have said to them we intend to hold them accountable, and they have given us their commitment. And as I said, we could only go on what we have seen in the past.
True.
And they have delivered in the past. And so I do believe that they will deliver once they are brought into office.
Do you want to open these lines?
Take some questions. Let's see.
We could take some questions, man. So the numbers to call 342-0081 and 466-5391. The lines are open. We are here. I'm here with Miss Felicia Thomas, the newly appointed president of the Public Services Association, and I am yours truly, Wendy H. Lewis. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. I'm working Ministry of
Caller,
Education.
good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. What's
I'm
your name? Where are you
working-
calling from?
I'm calling from Aruka.
Uh-huh.
I work Ministry of Education, and we permanent, and we pay our $100. Right now, we pull out back our money because TSA, you pay your money, and when you take out your glasses or anything, you don't get back your money. Right now, everything at a standstill. Right? I took a surgery. Right now, I cannot even get back my money. Right? So I don't know what's really going on, but we are permanent in our jobs.
Okay, thanks for the call, caller.
A lot of things is not truth. Thank you.
So let me just clarify. At no point in time I said that the entire public service is contract workers.
Exactly. That's what
said
I was
that
about
there
to say
are
myself.
There are hundreds of vacancies.
Yes, you did.
And there are hundreds of contract workers in the public service. There
Yes.
are permanent workers. But reality is, as persons retire, they are not filling vacancies.
We get in the next call.
But I want to answer the
Caller,
question.
please hold. Please hold, caller. Please hold.
I want to answer what she's speaking about in terms of the surgery that she did. There's a medical plan that was negotiated between the union and the employer, which is the government,
Right.
on behalf of public officers. Right now, the plan is approximately 100 million in deficit that is owed to the plan by the state.
Okay.
So the reason why there's a delay in persons receiving their benefits is because the plan is owed approximately 100 million by the state.
So that answers the question that the person who may need to accept responsibility is the state. Caller, good morning. Welcome to A Woman's Worth. What's your name and where are you calling
Hello,
from?
good morning.
Good morning.
I would not be given my name, but all I would like to say is this. We voted for a change within the PSA for someone to lead who would lead us with integrity and also honesty. And there was supposed to have been a court case involving the government and PSA last Wednesday that would have come back from the industrial court because the government appealed the decision. And up to now, we haven't heard anything with respect to that. What is taking place with respect to the negotiation? Have PSA gone back to the government and say, well, you all have called an election now, and what would be the bargaining process that has to take place?
Well, I would allow Ms. Thomas to answer, but in all fairness, the election was only called yesterday. It's not even 24 hours since the election was called.
I agree with all of that, but at the same point in time, we can't wait and tell them, well, here what is happening, right? If only given us, we go wait until after election to get whatever you all give. No, you have to strike while the iron is hot in that. Let them know if we are paid and negotiations are settled and paid before the election, then the right-thinking people and the people of this country, which is the working class, would be in a better frame of mind to go out and vote. And I hope that would be one of the ways that it is being looked at.
Thank you for the information, caller.
Just to answer the question, there seems to be a misconception among the membership that somehow the union does not want to negotiate with this government. I want to remind the population because we tend to forget or we tend to ignore what the facts are. The facts are this. The union was engaging in negotiations when we heard in the news that the Minister of Finance sent the negotiations to the industrial court. That's when we found out. We didn't know that there was a breakdown in negotiations because as far as we're concerned, we are engaging.
Right.
Notwithstanding, we felt as though there was no negotiation taking place because what we were met with in these negotiations, when you think that parties would meet around the table and there would be a give and take, you put your position, I put my position, and we look at how we could give and take, agree to this, not agree to this, shift that, move that. That didn't take place. We were met around the table with an envelope.
Wow.
Delivering, this is what we are offering. There was no negotiations. And after 2 meetings like that where we were given envelopes, the negotiations were sent to the court.
Wow.
And we maintain that we are willing to meet and treat. If the position has changed, then come to us. We are willing to meet and treat.
Caller, please hold.
But if that position has not changed, here's what we as the PSA will not do. And this is not just the executive, We went to our general counsel. We consulted with our conference. And we have a mandate from both bodies. But beyond that, we have been going out there and talking with the membership. And here what the membership is very clear on, that they do not want 4%. That 4% will not change their circumstances. When I tell you someone's increase is $204,
yeah, that's alarming.
They understand that that will not change their circumstances. But what they are clear on even further. These negotiations, they have decided no consolidation of COLA. What does that mean? You receive a COLA of $225 as a public officer. When we say consolidation of COLA, it means that if you had a salary of $5,000, they add the $225 to your salary before they add the increase. Why? Because COLA is a buffer against inflation. And you were functioning with that during the period. That's something that has already been negotiated, the consolidation of COLA. They want to turn back the hands of time and say, no consolidation of COLA. Here what that robs the public officer. They are robbing a public officer of $53,100 in back pay on your COLA alone.
Wow.
I want the public officer to hear that. When they say to you, no consolidation of COLA, it means that they are taking away from you, first and foremost, $51,300 in back pay. That is on your COLA only.
Wow. Let
me get a little deeper. An increase for a clerk amounts to $204. You know what the consolidation of COLA, and that is for 6 years. Consolidation of COLA for that 6-year period is $450.
Wow.
So just by consolidating your COLA for those 2 periods, you already get what is an increase in your base pay of $450 before you could talk adding any percentage.
This is very interesting.
But
Caller,
let me
good
tell
morning.
you what is worse. Before you take the caller, let me tell you what is worse, because they have the pensioners riled up that they want their back pay. They're not offering any back pay for the pensioners. What they want the PSA to sign, they want us to sign away the pensioners' back pay. That pensioners must not get their back pay, and they must only get $4,000.
Wow.
$4,000 for pensioners, and we must sign that.
Now you see how it's good to talk? And sometimes people react and respond without facts. Caller, good morning. Thanks for joining.
I'm from Port of Spain, concerned citizen.
Hi, good morning. Welcome.
Piggybacking on what your guest said about the
Ms.
history
Thomas.
of the UNC. Remember when coalition with the other party, and what was the outcome of that? What's your plan for that not to happen with you? And another one is how you will give accountability onto them. How you will make them stand accountable by if they win the election with you, and then none effect all the agreements. What you're going to do, protest to get them to come to the board to give will you make them accountable for what they promise you now?
That's not something I think the president can preempt. When you enter negotiations and one side says we're going up and the next side says if you go up, we go to the left, at the end of the day, there must be some element of trust. And one would assume that when they get to that bridge, I am sure Ms. Thomas, who's right here, has some sort of contingency in place to treat with anything that doesn't go the way it should have gone based on the negotiations. Take it
But
away,
my history show with the MSG
Hold
was
on,
so
hold
clear.
on,
They had
caller.
an
Allow
understanding
Ms.
and the
Thomas to
vision.
respond.
Sure.
Workers have to understand their power. And when we say to the workers that you have to shift in this direction, it's not about being red or being yellow. It's about showing worker power. That workers have the ability to put you into office and workers have the power to take you out of office. And we are very clear on that workers can put our government into office and they can take our government out of office. Workers must be treated with respect in this country. Bottom line.
Well said. I agree with workers being respected. Felicia, this is a hot topic. Yes, caller.
Hello?
Yes, caller.
Concerning the vacancies in the public service, a number of that is to be filled by the Service Commission. Is not that so?
Repeat, sorry?
What is the union view on that?
He said that the positions in the public service ought to be filled by the Service Commission. Again, let me refresh your memory, because notwithstanding that is so, the fact is, we heard the Minister of Finance talk about a freeze.
Yes, correct.
Did he come back and say to unfreeze? He never came back and said unfreeze. He said freeze, and all of a sudden, what we know to be the job of the Service Commission somehow became the job of the Minister of Finance. That at the snap of a finger, that he could say do X and X is done. Notwithstanding, he ought not to have that influence on the Service Commission. But that is what happened. So let's not forget the statement of the Minister of Finance. Then Minister of Finance, sorry.
I was about to say, then Minister of Finance. This is a hot topic. This is so interesting. I mean, people are asking. Thank you so much. I love this program. Very articulate. I admire your bravery. This is for you. I admire your bravery and your strength. The caller is being mischievous. We welcome your comments. We welcome your comments. We understand. Wow, somebody's saying you're like a Uriah Butler granddaughter. That is a powerful compliment, I would say. Thank you so much. We are here. We're having the conversation with Miss Felicia Thomas, who is the newly appointed president of the PSA. This is a repeated caller. Let's allow some other people to call in on the line. The lines are 342-0081 and we are 466-5391. Felicia, what's next for you? Because there's not much you can do until post 28th of April, or are there stuff that you can implement and do within that time frame?
Negotiating and representing workers doesn't stop. That
Right.
continues. So we continue to represent the workers. Hopefully that the workers understand the position of the union, that it is not a political position, but it is one that is advocating and representing their interests, that they too must understand they have to protect and seek their own interests.
Right.
We are saying to the workers that have voted for the UNC is vote for yourself.
Right.
Is you can no longer sit and talk about my party.
And your circumstances not changing.
And your circumstances not changing. And I would have said to, I would have shared with my membership that
Caller, please hold.
While, you know, I grew up in a PNM household, and
Yeah. So did I.
you couldn't go home and tell your parents you vote where. That you couldn't come home and say that.
But times have changed.
But here, you know what? I asked my membership. I said, when your parents say to you now to vote PNM, really think deep and listen to what they're telling you. They use references like Eric Williams, Patrick Manning. Not one person could tell you there was a reference to the last prime minister. Not one. But they're telling you to vote PNM again. Am I to vote for the PNM? I said at the beginning of the program, I'm a WASA worker. Am I to vote for the PNM and then be out of a job and not care about how I take care of myself and my family and only care about whether they are in office?
Wow.
Hear what I saw, They cared about themselves. They increased their salaries. They said that they have worked hard.
Caller, please hold.
They said that they have worked hard, and that is why they are accepting the recommendation of the Salary Review Commission. Didn't public officers work hard? Healthcare workers during COVID, didn't they work hard? And they all deserving of a fair increase so that they could face the grocery with some respect?
Wow. Let's take a call. Caller, good morning. Welcome. Caller, good morning. Caller disappear. Okay. Let's take another call. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Hello, good morning.
Pleasant good morning. Welcome.
Hello, good morning. Yes, good morning. Are you hearing me?
Yes, we are. Good morning, ma'am.
Yes, good morning. Thanks for the show. Thanks for being there. I heard you said that when you were negotiating, they gave you the negotiation was an envelope was handed to you, right?
Yes.
Why didn't you just hand back the envelope to them? Because you are not a envelope. You didn't come to negotiate an envelope. So you should have just hand back the envelope and say, so I'm sorry, that's not how we negotiate.
Well,
and the way, and you said it came back again. What I can't understand is when you are negotiating for the workers are the bosses, you are talking to your servants because from the prime minister back down are public servants, right? They serve us.
Yeah.
They serve us, the public, right? And when you should go in there in authority, not be like you begging them. You have to meet on common ground, not you say this and you say, you have to meet on common ground. But they have you down like if they're talking to anybody. And that's what I found very offensive. But anyway, I'm listening. It's good to know.
Thank you so much.
Just to say to the caller, two things. We are mindful that we do represent a membership, and to say to the membership that there was an offer, whether it was delivered in an envelope or not, that there was an offer and we refused to take it because it was in an envelope, I don't think that's something that the membership would accept. But we have stood our ground. I want to disagree that they may perceive us in a particular way, but we are clear that we are, when we meet, we are on equal footing. And that is why we have stood our ground. If we felt as though that they could just give us what they want, we would have signed. But we have fought and we continue to fight because we understand that our membership, they are deserving of much more than what is being placed before us.
Some more comments on the live. This is for you. This is your day. Sister, I love you for life. I hope the people give you the strength like they gave the former Prime Minister. Your vision is very clear, and I hope they stand strong before you. Someone is saying you're on politics. At the end of the day, please note that this is a democracy. And Ms. Thomas can advise based on her experience. And she can give advice based on her vision for the PSA. But at the end of the day, when you go in that booth, you could do what you like, you know. Whatever your conscience tells you to do, you can do. And somebody is saying to refuse the 4% was correct. Another union took the 4%. I don't know about that part. But we are here and we are having the conversation. So, Miss Thomas, Felicia Thomas, she's hanging with me this morning. So we're hanging 342-081-466-5391. And
Let me say something on the politics though, because
caller, please hold.
Okay.
Did anybody pay attention to the U.S. elections?
Well, don't even.
That every major union rallied their membership in support of
Their
Kamala
choice.
Harris.
Yeah.
And they were clear. Why? Because she was in support of workers. What she spoke, what she advanced was in favor of workers, promoting workers, supporting workers, improving the lives of workers. They were not deemed to be engaging in politics. They were deemed to be leading their membership in the direction that will benefit them. But what about Mia Matley?
Oh, Lord. Caller, good morning.
Yes, good morning to the host and guest. Very interesting program.
Thank you,
I
sir.
am a victim of the circumstances. I am a former public servant, senior, retired in 2017 on 2013 compensation package. And people like me, we have gotten nothing, right? For example, me, I have gratuity adjustment, I have salary adjustment, I have children upkeep arrears, I have pension, salary adjustment, and gratuity adjustment. So 4 adjustments. I'm a retiree, 2017, 2013 salaries, and nothing forthcoming. It is not easy for people like me and all the persons who retired from 2014 up to this very day. So I hope that we find favor, and the leader, the union, our boss there, will have a former PSA member, general counsel, and conference delegate for my section.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that, I'm 68 years now, and I'm hoping that somehow something will out before this year is done, and some kind of consideration be offered to people like me.
Caller.
It's very difficult as the days go by. So thanks much.
Caller, before you hang up, let me just ask, what year did you retire?
2017 on 2013 compensation collective agreement. I retired in 2017, but I went home with 2013 compensation package.
Okay. And you see, they want us to ignore the fact that, or treat the pensioners as though they no longer exist, that you don't have to cater for them. That is wrong. Why I asked what year you retired? It's because if someone retired, because the offer is 002002. If you retired in 2014, you have no increase to get. If you retired in 2015, you have nothing to get. If you retired in 2016, you would benefit from the 2% increase. Well, I say decrease because it's not an increase, but you benefit from the 2%. But what they are saying is that they don't want to pay the pensioners the back pay, that they want to give the pensioners $4,000, and that is something we have rejected. Give the pensioners what is theirs.
Of course, that is not fair. And some of us, for example, I have a degree. I have a degree from you in honors, second class honors in government, HR, and international relations. I have a certificate in public administration. And what is my status now? Well, I almost completed my master, but then because of the circumstance, I kind of abandoned my studies in masters. What I'm saying is that ordinary people like fellas who just wearing pants under the bottom and thing. We are people who sacrifice and educate ourselves, and now we are in the golden age now. We have to suffer like people who never did nothing in life. We're not even entitled to old age pension, which will have. And I think old age pension in Trinidad should be a universal effort. Right? Once you're born here, you should have old age pension, whether you're getting government, state pension, or whatever. I believe so. So we, people like me, we are in a peculiar circumstance. And remember, we built Trinidad and Tobago, and we work hard, right?
Yeah.
And today we have no kind of facilities. You know, we do not get special attention if we go to the pharmacy or if we go to the drugstore or a doctor. We have to pay as everybody else, right?
Yes.
And I really wish that this situation turned around, because I decide this year I'm not putting up with that sickness again, right?
Yeah.
Because by training I'm a political analyst, right? So I'm all kind of thing: political analyst, HR specialist, public administrator, right? Right? And it's not fair for people to be in those circumstances after making all the sacrifices. Because even the Bible says, by the sweat of your brow, you should eat bread. And we don't eat no kind of bread at all. Yeah? So I really hope that God bless you and you live, and that before December this year, that something happen to public servants like us, all the people retired from 2014 coming down to this day.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Thank you so much, Kola.
Thank you, Cameron.
Let me shift the tone of the conversation slightly. Have you ever faced gender-related obstacles during your career, and how have you overcome them?
No, I have
no. Kola, thank you.
Yeah. I can't say that I have.
Well, that's good.
For the most part, I can say that I when you go into a room to engage with the employer, if you meet a male person, they tend to be engaging.
Okay.
And I have met with females; they too tend to be engaging. I can't say that I've had any negative experiences in the workplace.
You're a power woman when you enter the room. I think even if they have that plan for you, when you enter the room, things shift, you know. What message do you have for young women aspiring to take on leadership roles in trade unions and, by extension, probably the public service?
Go after it. Go after it. It is rewarding. Just being able to help those persons who are voiceless, to be able to just advocate on behalf of people, to be able to see that you are in a position to change persons' lives.
Yeah,
it is rewarding. Go after it. I have part of my vision is to really engage the youth, because we need to get the youth involved in trade unionism. There is a lot of negative out there about the trade union movement. We are labeled as rabble-rousers, mischief makers, but reality is when you are passionate about representing people, you tend to that comes with the territory.
Yeah.
But it also sends a negative message to persons looking on, and they tend to not want to be interested. But I really want to get the youth involved in trade unionism and have more young people taking positions,
right?
Because that is what we need. We need the youth involved, or
definitely
else the trade union movement will die if we don't have enough youths coming in.
Are there any new policies or initiatives you plan to champion to support other women in public service?
I have been, just from the perspective of sexual harassment in the workplace,
which is a big one.
Yeah, I have been having some conversation. I do have to take a look at the policy because, yes, you are right. It is a big one. That is one of the things that we want to work with the Ministry of Labor and support that and get that off the ground because it is a big issue.
On both sides?
Both sides, yes. Yes.
Yeah, because a lot of time you hear sexual harassment in the workplace, you assume it's a male who's harassing a female.
Yeah.
It does go the other way around at times.
And the reality is, the sad thing about it is that the other side, the male, when they raise the issue, people tend to laugh at it. But it is a real situation, and we must respect both sides, both male, both female.
And it has to be raised from the male perspective because if it goes unnoticed or unchallenged or unreported, you could end up in court, you could end up somewhere else. So it goes both ways. What is your vision for the PSA? What's the duration of your term, first and foremost?
4 years.
4 years. What's your vision for the next 4 years?
For the next 4 years, I really want to see the union transformed in terms of membership, persons. I want to see people running to join the union. People must be so satisfied with the representation, with the leadership of the union, that they want to become part of, they want to support, they want to help build this union. I want to see the membership involved. Membership involvement is what I want to see within this term in office.
What is the let me ask the question that's being asked online. What is the process? I have to rephrase it because some of those things aren't radio friendly. What is the process to contact the PSA? You have an issue in the workplace where you feel victimized and you want to reach out to the PSA for assistance as a non-member. Is it that you have to become a member?
You have to be a member.
Right.
Again, representation has a cost.
Correct. Yes. What is the cost, by the way?
Well, it depends. Because you either we have a grievance department, first and foremost, to answer the question. And I'll answer it for both members and non-members.
Okay.
We have a grievance department. You could call our office at 226-5059 and ask for the grievance department, and a grievance officer will assist you.
226
5059.
5059. It's in the chat.
Yes. So if you are a member, of course, representation is readily available to you. You just contact us, speak with a grievance officer, and we will treat with whatever the issue is. And we urge persons to contact us because a lot of times we go to workplaces to meet with members, to share information, and people start talking to you about issues that they are having. And when you ask, have you spoken to an officer? Did you contact the PSA? They haven't. So things are happening to people in the workplace and they are keeping it to themselves. The only way that we could assist, the only way that we can represent you is if we know something is happening. So contact us. For non-members, you must join. You have to join the union in order to get representation. This misconception that the union does not represent persons, sometimes people who say that, sometimes they're not even members.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
So the misconception about us not representing persons, I could make reference to somebody who made a video in the campaign for one of my opponents about not representing him. Wow. And I can tell you his matter is before the court being treated with by an attorney, but he's making these videos.
Wow.
About the PSA. So a lot of times it's misinformation, intentional misinformation. So, but contact us and we will treat with whatever the issue is.
And Mark, he's saying this lady is a champion for the workers and understands the regular man on the ground. So conversation is necessary. We have to have these conversations because I was educated as well, because there were certain things I wasn't aware of. So you have brought deep level of clarity on so many issues as it relates to the PSA. And you would have spoken about your vision. What is your message to the women of Trinidad and Tobago? Specifically, I'm saying women because we're commemorating International Women's Month. And the theme for this year is Accelerate Action. What is your message for women as the second female president of the PSA?
Stand strong. Women, a lot of women tend to feel as though that they don't have the strength to do certain things, and reality is we are stronger than we believe.
Agreed.
When faced with circumstances, we endure.
We built for it, you know.
Exactly.
We built for it.
Set your mind to it and go after it and stand strong.
I like the fact that you use the word mind. People who know me personally will be like, yeah, that's Wendy's word right there. Because we have to shift our mindset, and we have a fixed mindset. And that's for cultural reasons, religious reasons, lack of knowledge. People perish for lack of knowledge. We're in 2025. We have, not everything on the internet is correct.
Correct, yes.
So you have to do fact checking. You have to
Yes.
do some fact checking. And at the end of the day, read. You know, they used to say back in the day, if you want to hide anything from us, put it in a book. No, read and ask questions, engage. I would add to your comment as well, to all the women, watch your circle. Watch your circle. I think that's my message for today. Watch your circle and make sure that the people in your circle are not under you. And I want to say that guardedly, meaning that the people in your circle, you must be able to learn from them. Anytime you feel you need to be the one pouring, you have a self-esteem issue as well, and also you'll become drained. And after you've drained yourself by pouring into so many different people, who is now pouring into you? Watch your circle. We have a couple more minutes left. We probably take one call, 342-0081, 466-5391. But the conversation continues. I am so proud of you.
Thank you.
I remember you in the class. And like, she is a force to be reckoned with. Oh, here's a caller coming in here. Caller, good morning. Welcome to A Woman's Worth. We're here with Miss Felicia Thomas, who is the president of the PSA. What's your contribution?
Good morning. I want to say to the PSA president, congratulations on her victory.
Thank you.
To say very much what your words, when I saw you on news, I work in the public sector, but not in the under the PSA. And when I saw you, I said, but those are things that I've been telling people when it is a make statement with respect to, is it that we're not working hard to? And it's really, I feel like I wanted to cry here. When you say them things, I've been telling people that I deserve an increase too.
Yes.
Since COVID is double, where are you getting this extra money from? I'm not getting any extra money to go in the grocery. How much I will cut again? I've done giving but churn bread and margarine to eat every day. Right? And I swear to God, that's what I'm doing. Where I getting, I'm not eating macaroni pie and things. Oh God, you are really happy. And one day I want to tell you, you know what the best is? I feel that we can be represented. If I can see unions reach the parliament, I know the worker will have a part in this country represented in the parliament, and we can get things done. We can get things done. What is wrong with the union seeing about the politics of itself and its interest, which is the worker? Why we have to have this two-party system? I wish we could get to that point, and I feel everything will be well. And that tension I'll call over. I'm feeling so sorry for him. It's really hard out there, miss, and I'm really happy that I get the call. Thank you, God bless.
Wow, thank you so much for that contribution. Oh, another call is coming in, and then I'll share some. Oh, that call is gone. Some of the comments on the listen, but Felicia, Candice is saying it is deeply disappointing when elected MPs entrusted by their constituents prioritize personal gain over the democratic process. Their duty is to serve the people, not themselves. I will be sharing this program. People need to be listening to these conversations to make better choices. This is so interesting. So we getting ready to wrap up just before the 12 noon hour. I was saying before I want to finish my praise sentence. I am super duper proud of you. You know, I'm remembering the class and I'm saying, this is a little firebomb. She's like a little mini me. And she's so, you were so empowered and uplifting, and you are just a breath of fresh air.
Thank you.
I didn't even know you were going up for the election, and when I told you, I screamed out, I said, oh my God. We'll take one more call before we wrap up. Caller, good morning. Welcome to A Woman's Worth. Caller, good morning. Caller? Okay, we're not that caller. May have to call back. Next caller coming in. Oh, caller going again. Yes. Yeah, so I really keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Stay prayed up. Trust me, stay prayed up. Because one of the things you need as a leader is discernment.
Yes.
And that only comes by a personal relationship with whoever your God is.
Yeah.
Because I don't do...
Absolutely correct.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
I don't do the religion thing and then this one preferred. No, we're not doing that. But we all recognize that there's a supreme being, and whoever you connect with, that's all good with you.
Yeah.
But stay in prayer. Spend quality time with your Maker. Prioritize yourself after God. Do not allow yourself to become drained. Always have a rock or an anchor that you could pick up your phone and say, you know what, today was a drained day. And somebody could pour some fuel into you.
Yeah.
Because as a woman in leadership, I can tell you from experience, the challenges are real. Let me say it in local parlance. You have to have belly. You have to have belly to remain committed and consistent and be being real, because there's spiritual wickedness in high places. There are some demons in the workplace.
Yes.
I'm telling you. One more call and this might be it. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Allow me to say congratulations to Felicia.
Thank you.
I must indeed say that the union is in good hands.
Thank you.
I know you know me. I'm Colin Morris speaking here.
Hi, Mr. Morris. How are you?
I know one thing. I know you are very courageous, and I know that you will do what you have to do. At the end of the day, put God first.
Yes.
In everything you do, and the battle is the Lord own.
Yes.
And truly we have been fighting, we have been waiting on this day, and this is the day the Lord has made.
Amen.
And we really want to see some change in going forward. And I believe that if we have union in Parliament that one equal would have rightfully said to represent us, we will truly make a difference in going forward.
Yes.
Too long, workers have been suffering, they have been struggling, and I believe the time has come for us to make a difference in going forward. The previous government, they would have told us to make some sacrifice, and why people would have made sacrifice, we would have seen just recently politicians and other entity would have raised their money.
Yes.
And the sad thing, before I conclude, the sad thing is that we have been wrestling, fighting with 2013 salary, and sometimes you feel like you're just living on paycheck to paycheck.
Yes.
And sad to say, these politicians are living nice. We are eating the scrum. The cost of living is very high. Everything going up except people's salary.
Yes.
So I believe in going forward, people have the opportunity and the choice to look at country, to look at party, and do what you have to do in terms of making the right decision in voting. So well, God bless you. Thank you very much. I know we are in good hands. And peace and love, and put God forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much, caller. I just I have to be biased now. A comment is saying we need this host every week. So I want to respond to that person that I'm here every day for the month of March, Monday to Friday, 10 to 12, with the exception of Tuesday where I'm here for an hour. And then for the month of April, I'll be here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So I am a fixed asset here now. They are stuck with me. Closing comments, Felicia, as we wrap up, so that we go to the news at the top of the hour.
I just want to say to the membership in closing that put yourself first.
Yeah.
Put yourself, put your family, your future first.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, there's so much comments. I can't listen to me. It's too much. Thank you to everyone on the YouTube platform. Thank you to everyone on the Facebook Live. Thank you to everyone on our WhatsApp pages. We appreciate you. This has been an amazing conversation right here on A Woman's Worth on Street 91.9 FM. The news is up next. Thank you. This is yours truly, Wendy H. Lewis, host of A Woman's Worth, right here on Street 91.9 FM. Tune in every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon, and on Tuesdays, 11 a.m. to 12 noon. We are commemorating International Women's Month, the month of March. Throughout the program, you will hear inspiring stories of trailblazing women. We will be engaging in meaningful conversations about gender equality and spotlight the voices of those making a difference in their communities. So whether you are a leader, mother, a professional, an entrepreneur, or just a young woman trying to find your path, this is the program for you. This is your time, this is your space, this is your celebration. Join us right here on Street 91.9 FM.
A woman's worth.
Attention business owners. Are you looking to reach a vast audience and boost your brand's visibility? Then look no further. The Street 919 FM is here to help you shine. With over 170,000 followers on our social media platforms, our radio station is the perfect platform to showcase your products and services. Join us and let your message be heard by thousands of eager listeners. Contact us now to learn more about our affordable advertising packages. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to connect with your target audience. Advertise with the Street 919 FM today. For more information, call 399-5959, 384-2232, or 378-1470.
You've got bills to pay, and so do we. Let's go pay some bills on the Street 919 FM.
I want to wish you the best of luck. You're a fighter, and I know side by side in the coalition of interest, steps will help us fix it.
Indeed, thank you for that endorsement.
This Saturday, 22nd March, all roads lead to the PEP mass rally at our St. Joseph office, Bamboo number 1. Come hear our powerful lineup of speakers, including yours truly, deliver the blueprint for rescuing our country. There'll be bouncy castles and face painting for the kids, and good food and drinks galore. Family activities start from 2 p.m. and the political meeting starts at 5. Bring the whole family and come. We stand united. Together, we will fix it.
Come party.
Hey, what's up? This is your boy Major Hype, and guess what? It's all about Tobago. We getting ready for Tobago. That's right, it all takes place in Tobago. Scarborough, Pigeon Point, everybody come out. Let me have a good time and let me enjoy ourselves now, man. It's all about comedy and party. It's going to be a crazy... Man, you see that what I can't take with all you? All right, let me do this.
Listen, it's not a party, it's party. Let's have a party. You don't listen.
You can't win everything, brother.
The teeth in me right through, but it's okay.
Comedy Party, Friday, 18th April. Fairways Tobago Plantation, featuring Caribbean King of Comedy, Major Hype and Friends. Friday, 18th April. Get your tickets at Cachet stores nationwide. Fairways Restaurant and the Lounge Plantation. Jenny's on the Boulevard. All E-Clip Eli locations and online at islandetickets.com. Comedy show and party with all the top DJs.
Comedy and party. Have a party. We're gonna have a party after the comedy.
Sponsored by Cachet, top-ranking guest house and tours, and Jenny's on the Boulevard. Port of Spain, Point Fortin. It's your turn to laugh like never before. Alternative International Comedy Festival featuring comedy star Damian Melville in concert with added drama, including Damian Melville as Dr. Rowley.
Listen to that. There's never a day you could wake up and you hear, what a lovely day. What beautiful sunshine. Let me go on the beach. Let me go and check my neighbor I haven't seen for a while. All you just get from them is yang, 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 yang. That is all.
Coming to Winifred Atwell Auditorium, Queens Hall, Saturday, March March 22nd, and Mahica Oval Sporting Complex, Point Fortin, Saturday, March 29th. Both shows, 7 p.m. Get tickets today and save a fantastic $50 while stock lasts at islandytickets.com. Cache, Sport of Spain, Gulf City Mall, Trin City Mall, Michelle's Arima, Passad the Food King, and Food Fantasy, Point Fortin, Volini's, San Fernando, Crosby, St. James, Extra Food Supermarkets, nationwide. For more info, call Alternative Festival Hotline at 774-5555.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
News from the Street, 919fm.com. Here's what's happening.
Good afternoon. This is the Midday News, broadcasting on the Street 919 FM. In your headlines, Prime Minister Stewart, Young calls general election. UNC declares readiness for elections. Political analysts question election. Timing. Internationally, United Nations worker killed in Gaza strike amid renewed conflict. Now for the news in detail. The Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable Stewart Young, has officially advised Her Excellency Christine Kangaloo, President of the Republic, to dissolve Parliament at midnight on Tuesday, March 18, 2025, in line with Section 68 of the Constitution. Following this, Young has also advised the President that writs of election will be issued on March 18, 2025, in accordance with the Representation of the People Act. Nomination Day has been set for Friday, April 4, 2025, with general elections scheduled for Monday, April 28, 2025. This decision marks a significant moment in the country's political landscape, coming just days after Young was sworn in as Prime Minister following the resignation of Dr. Keith Rowley. Opposition leader Kamla Persad-Bissessar has strongly criticized the timing of the election announcement, calling it a hurried attempt to avoid legal challenges against Young's appointment. Persad-Bissessar and the United National Congress had previously signaled their intent to challenge Young's legitimacy as Prime Minister in court. She argued that his appointment was unconstitutional and that he should have first gone through an internal election within the People's National Movement. According to her, if such an election had occurred, Young would have been defeated by senior PNM figure Penelope Beckles. The opposition leader also did not attend Young's swearing-in ceremony earlier this week, stating that she refused to recognize what she deemed an illegitimate transition of power. Meanwhile, in news, despite their concerns over Young's appointment, Persad-Bissessar affirmed that the UNC is fully prepared for the upcoming elections and is confident of victory. She revealed that the party had prearranged election logistics as far back as November 2024, anticipating an early poll. The UNC is contesting the election under its Coalition of Interests initiative, which includes alliances with smaller political parties. However, the full list of candidates has yet to be announced. Persad-Bissessar emphasized that her party will protect the interests of the nation, stating, "The people have the power to effect change and finally put an end to the PNM's decade of destruction." She also reiterated the need for international and regional election observers to ensure transparency, confirming that the UNC has formally requested their presence. The timing of the election has sparked further debate, with Persad-Bissessar alleging that Young was given a golden handshake securing a prime minister's pension after serving just 1 day in the position before calling the election. Under this arrangement, Young would be eligible for a pension of $87,000 per month. In more news, political analysts have raised concerns about the timing of the election. Dr. Winford James criticized Young's decision to reshuffle the cabinet before calling elections, describing it as playing smart with foolishness. He questioned why a new cabinet was appointed only to be dissolved within days. Dr. Indira Sejwan also questioned Young's approach, suggesting he took a gamble by making immediate cabinet changes in ministries facing public scrutiny. Analyst Dr. Bishnu Raghunath, however, noted that the early election was not surprising given the lack of a legislative agenda in Parliament this year. He said it was only a matter of time before Parliament was dissolved. In international news, a United Nations worker was killed and 5 others were wounded in a strike on a United Nations guest house in Gaza. The attack occurred amid a renewed Israeli offensive following the breakdown of a fragile ceasefire with Hamas. Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz has warned that evacuations will be ordered again soon and threatened intensified military action if Hamas does not release hostages. The UN Office for Project Services confirmed that the strike on their compound was not accidental, and Israel had been informed of its location before the attack. Gaza's health ministry reports at least 436 deaths since Israeli airstrikes resumed, including 183 children and 94 women. The Israeli military maintains that its targets are militant strongholds, while the UN warns that humanitarian workers continue to suffer heavy losses. The renewed conflict risks escalating into full-scale war as Hamas demands Israel abide by the original ceasefire agreement, while Israel pushes forward with its military campaign. Let's take a look at what's happening in the world of sports. West Indies cricketers Alec Athanase, Amir Jangu, and Shamar Springer are among the 42 protected players selected for the upcoming West Indies Breakout League T20 competition. Cricket West Indies confirmed that each of the 6 franchise teams has secured 7 protected players ahead of the player draft. The tournament rules allow teams to retain 3 players aged 27-29 and require at least 1 leg spinner. The remaining squad members, all 26 or younger, will be picked in the draft. Athanase, who has played for the West Indies in all 3 formats, joins Windward Islands Infernos alongside all-rounder Springer. Jangu, known for his century on ODI debut against Bangladesh, will represent the Trinidad and Tobago Legions. Test players Kesey Carty and Michael Louis are set to play for the Leeward Islands Thunder. The Breakout League, scheduled from April 25 to May 10 at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy in Tarouba, is designed to highlight emerging Caribbean talent and serves as a gateway to the Caribbean Premier League. In your weather forecast, for this afternoon and tonight, expect mostly hot, sunny, and hazy conditions, with a brief isolated shower possible. Tonight will be mostly fair and hazy, with occasional brief showers. Fluctuating levels of Saharan dust are expected, so those sensitive to air quality changes should take necessary precautions. Expect a maximum temperature of 33 degrees. Seas are moderate, with wave heights ranging from 1.5 to 2.0 meters in open waters and below 1.0 meter in sheltered areas. Recapping the headlines. Prime Minister Stewart, Young calls general election. UNC declares readiness for elections. Political analysts question election. Timing. Internationally, United Nations worker killed in Gaza strike amid renewed conflict. That was your News on the Street 919 FM. Do have a safe and productive day.
News from the street. News from the street. 919fm.com.
T&T come prepared for non-stop laughter and bacchanal. Randy Glasgow Productions' Alternative International Comedy Festival is coming to Queen's Hall, Port of Spain, this Saturday, March 22nd, and Mahaika Oval Sporting Complex, Point Fortin, Saturday, March 29th. Tickets are running low, so get yours today at advertised outlets nationwide.